I did some thinking, what is it about this car that makes it so good in the twisties, on mountain roads, canyons, those types of things. And I came up with my top 5 reasons All right, guys, back from my second trip to the mountains in just a few weeks. It's been a few days, and man, I gotta tell you, my 992.2 Carrera T performed beautifully. I really think that this 992.2 Carrera T is, well, I'll call it a bit of a mountain cheat code. Yeah, a bit of a cheat code for driving in the mountains. And I came up with my top 5 reasons, but I have a bonus reason at the end, so stay tuned for the bonus reason that's specific to this particular car. Okay? All right, number 1, here we go.
Okay, let's go.
And the number 1 reason is the car's width. Yes, the width. Many of you may not have known that starting with the 992 generation, that the car got wider. The standard Carrera and Carrera T got wider from the 991 to the 992 by about 3 inches. So the 991 Carrera T was 59.8 inches wide, whereas the 992 Carrera T is 62.8 inches wide. Now we're talking about the rear track specifically, which of course is the distance between the center of the left and right rear wheels. And it does have a major influence on cornering stability. Now the front track was also increased, just not quite as dramatic. So imagine you're going 60 to 80 miles an hour on a mountain road sweeper. A wider track reduces that lateral weight transfer, and it gives that outside tire better load distribution. It makes the chassis feel calmer, The result is the 992T tends to feel more planted and more stable, more confident and inspiring. You turn in and the car simply settles onto that outside tire and holds its line. It also helps you on rough roads, and we know these mountain roads are rarely racetrack smooth, right? You often encounter mid-corner bumps and pavement repairs and off-camber corners, of course elevation changes, which is why we're in the mountains, right? So that wider track generally is going to give that chassis more resistance to these disturbances. It's going to calm it down. When one side of the car encounters a bump, the wider stance provides a larger base supporting the vehicle. The result is the 992.2T feels less nervous and more settled, more secure when pushing hard. So you're just going to feel more, at least I did, feel more confident in the 992T because of that wider track, the wider rear tires. Now they're 305 on the 992.2 compared to the 991 Carrera T's. Most of those had 245 instead of 305. It's got a longer wheelbase, better PASM tuning, which we'll talk about in a minute, rear axle steering, which we'll talk about, just more grip overall. So the number 1 reason I think this 992.2T is a mountain canyon carving cheat code is because of that wider width. Now the number 2 reason is the horsepower. Yeah, the horsepower specific to the Carrera T. Here's why. On tight mountain roads, less horsepower can actually make a car easier and more enjoyable to drive. And this, of course, is why the Carrera T exists. It's why it was created. So let's compare it to, let's say, a GTS, okay? So the Carrera T has 388 horsepower, and the GTS has 532 horsepower. That's 144 more horsepower, which is a massive difference, right? But more power isn't always better. On a tight mountain road, we're going to be limited by corner radius, sight line, surface quality, of course, traffic, available grip, not by horsepower. That's not going to limit us. You know, consider a typical second gear hairpin. With the Carrera T, you're going to get to full throttle earlier, right? You can use a larger percentage of that engine's capability, and we're going to be working the car harder, but it's going to be more fun. With that GTS, we're going to need to wait longer before applying that throttle. We don't want that ass end to kick out on us, right? You're going to reach that, whoa, that's enough speed moment much sooner. The engine's capability is going to far exceed what most of the roads are going to allow us to use. You just simply can't use all the power. That's why many drivers describe this as, you know, being able to use more of the T more of the time. We all love naturally aspirated engines, right? And mainly because of that throttle precision, no turbo lag. The power is there when you want it. But among modern turbocharged 911s, the Carrera T is still considered easier to meter out that power than the GTS. You know, coming out of that decreasing radius corner, it's always tricky, right? That decreasing radius corner, Carrera T is going to be easier to balance on that throttle. It's less likely to overwhelm the rear tires, and you're going to have less dramatic weight transfer. You know, the GTS is going to have more acceleration available. It'll probably be faster if you can drive it perfectly, but most of us are not going to be able to do that. You know, there's an old saying, I'm sure you've heard it, that it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. Now, neither one of these cars are slow. Let's not get crazy here. But the principle still applies. The Carrera T often encourages more gear changes, more use of full throttle, and more involvement. So that's why it's just a better car in these types of twisty, tight mountain environments. Not because they're faster, but because they're more engaging. The 992.2 is a manual transmission, less weight, less power, chassis-focused setup. On a road like Tail of the Dragon, I'm telling you, many skilled drivers, just not myself, would choose the T over the GTS for pure enjoyment. Even though the GTS is, of course, a faster car in general, you're probably not going to get faster time on a road like Tail of the Dragon, right? That's my number 2 reason, and I think it's a real one, and it might not be one you expected, on why I think this is the cheat code for these type of mountain roads is actually the horsepower. Now the number 3 reason I think that this car is a mountain driving cheat code is the brakes. Yes, the brakes. Many of you may not be aware that the brakes on the 992.2 are larger than the 992.1. Yeah, so for example, the 992.1 front rotor diameter was 330 millimeters. Not bad, but quite an upgrade for the 992.2. It went up to 350 millimeters on the front, and the same on the rear. You go from 330 on the rear to 350 on the rear when you go from the .1 to the .2. The front calipers also increased from 4-piston to 6-piston on the front, while the rear stayed the same at 4-piston. So what does all this mean in real practice? Well, you got more thermal capacity, of course. The jump from 330 millimeters to 350 millimeter rotor gives the brakes more leverage and more mass to absorb that heat. On mountain roads or track days, they're going to resist fade better. You're going to get stronger initial bite too, right? The 6-piston front calipers provide more even pad pressure and a firmer pedal feel. I found the same thing. The car just stopped. It felt good. It felt solid. It felt the way you would expect a Porsche to feel in the mountains. It just seems like Porsche appears to have upgraded the brakes to better match the increased cornering capability of this Carrera T. And the number 4 reason why I think the 992.2 Porsche Carrera T is a canyon carving cheat code is PASM, Porsche Active Suspension Management. Comes standard on the Carrera T, and here's what it does. Well, for fast mountain road driving, the PASM set up on a 992.2 Carrera T is one of the car's biggest advantages. Not because it's brutally stiff,
but because Porsche tuned it specifically to make the car more responsive without crossing into GT3 territory. Porsche says the T gets a model-specific PASM Sport calibration, a 10mm lower ride height, and tuning developed specifically for the Carrera T. So what does it actually do? Well, it uses electronically controlled dampers that continually adjust damping force based on steering input, throttle position, brake pressure, wheel movement, and vehicle speed. The driver can choose different modes, of course. You've got the wet and the sport plus, normal, all those. But even within each mode, the dampers are constantly adapting. Why does this help on mountain roads? Or imagine you're driving on a road like a Tail of the Dragon or the Churrahala Skyway or a tight North Georgia mountain pass. Well, number one, you're going to get better control during rapid direction changes. On a series of left-right-left transition, PASM reduces body movement faster than a passive suspension would. The result? Less delay between steering input and chassis response, sharper turn-in, and greater confidence that the car goes exactly where you want it. This is one reason that the T feels more eager than a standard Carrera, despite having the same basic engine. The number two thing is more tire contact on imperfect pavement. Mountain roads are rarely smooth. You might encounter mid-corner bumps or pavement patches or course elevation changes. A fixed stiff suspension often skips across these imperfections. PASM can soften a wheel's response when needed, helping the tire stay in contact with the road surface. More tire contact generally means more grip, more predictable handling, and better braking while cornering. Number three thing PASM does is it's better weight transfer under braking. Entering a downhill hairpin, you're often trail braking into the corner. The T's PASM Sport setup, combined with the larger brakes, helps control front-end dive and keeps the chassis settled as weight transfers forward. This gives a driver a stronger sense of confidence when braking late into a corner. So the PASM, you can feel it, and it's the fourth reason why I think this Carrera T is a cheat code for the mountains.
And the final reason, before I give you my bonus reason, why I think this car is so great in the mountains and did so well, better than any other car I've had, is the rear axle steering. Yes, the rear axle steering is now standard on the 992.2 Porsche Carrera T. Many people have mixed feelings about it, but in the mountains, on the tight mountains like the Tail of the Dragon, man, it was a huge help, an absolutely fantastic addition that made this car great.
Well, how does it work, you say? Well, the rear wheels can steer a small amount. Porsche says about 2 degrees. So what does that do? Well, at low speeds, the rear wheels turn opposite of the fronts. This effectively shortens the wheelbase. The car rotates more eagerly into tight corners. U-turns and parking maneuvers require less space. At higher speeds, the rear wheels turn with the front wheels. This effectively lengthens the wheelbase. The car feels more stable during fast sweepers, lane changes, and highway transitions. So what you'll notice from the driver's seat? Well, on tight back roads, initial turn-in is sharper. The rear of the car seems to rotate around you more readily. You'll need less steering lock at hairpins. And on fast road, the car feels more settled. Rapid lane changes have less of a traditional rear engine weight transfer sensation. Why did Porsche make it standard on the 992.2? Well, the 992.2 platform is larger than every 911 before. They all keep getting bigger. And as the 911 has grown, Porsche has increasingly used rear axle steering to preserve the nimble feel that enthusiasts expect. Now, Porsche states that the Carrera T's rear axle steering calibration was developed specifically for this model. I'm telling you guys, I could feel it on the Dragon, specifically those really tight, 45 mile per hour turns. You could feel that car just rotating so easily, so simply. It just felt like it knew what you wanted it to do, and it did it. I'm telling you, rear axle steering is awesome in the mountains.
All right, so the sixth, or the bonus reason, is specific to this particular car. You've got to order your car this way. If you don't, then you don't get the bonus reason. Got to order your car this way. But the bonus reason is These bucket seats, guys. Order your car with the bucket seats, not the sofa seats, not the 14 or the 18 way. This is the way to order it.
So my carbon bucket seats, they help me by keeping me stable, the driver, right? That allows me to keep more attention on the road and be a more precise driver. So the Porsche 14-way and 18-way sport adaptive seats are excellent, but they're designed more for comfort, daily usability, easy entry and exit, long distance touring. When it comes to a hard mountain road, your body naturally wants to slide sideways. So even with those side bolsters on the 14 and 18 way inflated, you'll often find yourself bracing with your left knee, pulling on your steering wheel, tensing your core muscles. These are subtle movements, but they matter. Every pound of effort spent holding yourself in place is effort not devoted to making precise steering, throttle, and braking inputs. So what do the carbon buckets do? Well, the carbon buckets are much taller and more rigid on their side bolsters. Okay, when you corner fast, your hips stay planted, your torso stays centered, your shoulders your shoulders remain aligned with the steering wheel. Instead of holding yourself in your seat, the seat holds you. This is going to allow smoother steering inputs, better pedal modulation, and more constant feedback. And this matters on mountain roads, of course. Imagine this sequence, let's say a left-right-left transition with the standard seat. Your body moves slightly, you recenter yourself, your hands may change pressure on the steering wheel. But with buckets, your body remains fixed, your hands remain relaxed. You can focus entirely on placing the car exactly where you want it. The results often feels like the steering becomes more precise, even though nothing about the steering system has changed. And braking is where you'll probably notice the most. Yep, braking. Many people expect the biggest difference in the corners. Often, the biggest difference is under heavy braking. Approaching a downhill airpin without buckets, your body wants to move forward. You brace your legs. Your right foot might have to support part of your weight. But with the buckets, the seat absorbs much of those forces. Your legs can focus solely on pedal work. Threshold braking becomes easier to modulate. This is especially noticeable during repeated hard braking on mountain descents. So this is all part of the Carrera T philosophy, right? The Carrera T is fundamentally a driver's car. Porsche's choices of manual transmission, PASM sport suspension, mechanical limited slip differential, rear axle steering, and reduced insulation are all about driver engagement. The carbon buckets fit that philosophy perfectly. They don't make the car faster in a straight line, they make it easier for the driver to extract the car's capability. That's why I say, if you order a Carrera T, you gotta order it with the buckets.
Woo! All right, so there you have it. That's the top 5 reasons this Porsche 992.2 Carrera T is a mountain driving canyon carving cheat code with my very car specific bonus reason. I hope you guys agree. If you don't, put it down in your comments. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel when you do. But more importantly, tell me your thoughts. Is there another car that you think is better on the tight mountain, the tail of the dragon type of roads? I'd love to hear about it. If there's reasons that you think I didn't think of that make this car so great, that made it perform so wonderfully, write them down in the comments as well. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Brian. Peace.